Okay, hello. This is another Killing Floor 3 video. So this is just I already talked about a bunch of stuff already. I'm like already like pre-recording for hello. Okay. we're playing R&D Labs on Hell on Earth, like always. You know, like we always do. Playing Hell on Earth isn't... I don't want to say Hell on Earth isn't a challenge, because there are some points in time where I do actually fumble the bag and realize I am goofing off a bit too much. So... And I get frustrated at myself because I did it myself because I'm a fool. But I do want to talk about a bit more about KF3's upcoming season, which is Season 2. Since I don't think I really did do much of a initial thought about it, due to the fact that, you know, I for one tend to give games a year before I either keep it installed or I keep up, like, you know, I don't play it as much after the first year, because of the fact that the chances of them fumbling whatever they're trying to do, or things aren't just working the way that they're supposed to be, in terms of just playability and all that noise, and the enjoyment in general. Obviously, enjoyment comes first before, like, playability. Like, if the game's unplayable, then, but you still enjoy it, I mean, that's kind of like me. Like, if I enjoy the game, like, like I said, I don't really play that many triple A titles anymore. I used to, but I mean, I'm not very into playing triple A titles anymore. I do want to say though, with just in general, like Season 2, or well, Season 2 for the supply pass, which is basically hints of just Scully, Stalker, and the new map. We don't know the weapons because they haven't really said anything about the weapons, but I'm pretty sure they will introduce the weapons at some point in time. Winter is going to be coming around the corner, so I do believe that the winter sale would probably be the best bet for Tripwire to release the next update. Obviously, if I was in their shoes, I would probably do the same thing. Maybe do it like a week before. So obviously, like, the players who've already played, or who already have the, you know, play the update a week before it goes on sale, I would feel that would be a bit better. Obviously, if they do the sale, you know, put it on sale because the new seasonal or the supply pass update is up, I do feel that it does have a greater chance of, you know, proving, you know, just in general, like, hey, you know, like, we're still updating the game, we're still improving it. This is what people have to say about the new update, so here it is on sale, you know. But I think the winter sale might be happening like the second week of, I want to say the second week of December, but I could be wrong, since I don't really pay attention too much to the winter sales. With the update, I do hope when it comes to newer, like, content-wise, obviously for me, I do think that the map will probably be a good thing to have in terms of just, like, in terms for the game to really feel like, okay, you know, they're going to be adding maps again, they're going to be, you know, obviously they already show that they're going to be adding weapons, but also a new character and then a new enemy. And that's what they promised in general when it came to, you know, creating hints for the season pass or supply pass. I don't know. Either way, it's still a season. I mean, so we're about to hit the second season of KF3, which I, for one, am looking forward to it because I'm very interested on what guns or new weapons that they're going to be adding. And I'm kind of looking forward to the fact that they will be... Honestly, I do think... I want to say I have a feeling that the Gunslinger might end up being the new Commando, because I highly doubt, I don't think they will do this, but if they end up, obviously the Stalker is coming back to KF3, right, in Season 2, and if they somehow decide to, because now that Stalkers are back, I am very curious about how they're going to handle them, because obviously there is no perk in the history of KLink 4 that has the ability to see sirens, or not sirens, to see stalkers besides the Commando. So I'm a bit worried at the fact that this might be a chance where the Gunslinger might be the one that might have that ability. Unless, I mean, don't quote me on this, unless they decide to bring back, or not bring back, but update the Commando, now that the Stalker is back, to allow the Commando to be able to see Stalkers at, I think the max was like 24 meters? Or 20 meters? Something like that. One of the two. So, that is what I'm very curious about. Obviously, the Commando has always been able to see Stalkers right off the bat. So, what is stopping them from giving the Commando its unique perk back? You know what I mean? Because what's stopping them from doing that in this update? Because one, they're adding Stalkers back, and two, I mean, obviously the Commando would be more, I mean, I don't want to say more playability, but I mean, I feel like the Commando is played more than most perks, it seems. Obviously, don't quote me on this, but obviously for me, like, Commando was always a fun class to always play as in the previous games. I don't want to say like an actual passive skill, but, you know, are they going to be updating the Commando's skill trees, where in terms of, I think probably in tier 2, maybe? Tier 2 allows the Commando to see Stalkers, right? At a certain distance. So obviously, like, base could be like 5 meters, and then it goes up to maybe 15, I think. 15 meters? Or something like that. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm curious about, what they're going to do with the Stalkers specifically. Because obviously, if they're going to make them be visible, like, okay, cool, right? If they make them visible, but then you have the issue where some people who, you know, never played KLink 4 now have to deal with Invisibitches. Obviously, like, we don't know if they're gonna be, they never mentioned saying like they're gonna be updating, like adding new skills to perks, or they're, you know, they never said anything about that. But I'm very curious, because if anything, if they don't give the Commando the passive ability to see Stalkers again, I do feel like it would be a trade-off, because obviously I think either tier 1, where you get the more ammo, or you get more armor, I do feel like that would feel like a good spot to really have you choose to, you know, have you choose on if you want to be able to see more be able to see the Stalkers at a certain distance, or you want to get more armor back, or you want to get more ammo, right? So I feel like that would be a decent trade-off, because like if you put in like tier 2, tier 3, or even a tier 4, like I feel like tier 4 was like weird, because you get, I think you get faster Z time when you shoot limbs off, so it kind of encourages you to aim for the limbs, but obviously using cut would definitely help you achieve that. But for a second, I thought I was playing the Commando for a second. I do believe that if they do end up, you know, updating the Commando's perk, it's like, okay, cool, like that's what we could expect, some things like that in the future then. But who knows if they're going to do that or not. Obviously, they're not going to say anything until it's like closer to the release date. But I do feel like on how they might handle Stalkers would be very interesting, because if they don't give I'm not gonna say like, oh, you don't give the commando the ability to see stalkers, I'm quitting the game. It's not that detrimental, but I do feel like if that's the case, if they don't do it, they'll probably give it to the gunslinger, because then, you know, it would be weird. It would be weird, and I feel like some people, obviously commando mains, will probably be upset about the fact that the one ability that really made the commando unique is now given to the gunslinger, who in turn never really had that ability to be able to see the stalkers, right? But I mean, that's my 2 cents about that. Obviously, I'm curious about how they're gonna handle, like, are we gonna, like, in terms of this? Okay, there is a new achievement that popped up in, if you look on Steam, there is a new hidden achievement that specifically you cannot unlock yet. It's a hidden secret, so obviously it might have to do with the mission, where it's most likely going to be like, oh, you rescued DJ Scully or something like that, right? Something along those lines, because obviously it's a new season, new achievements, but they only added 1, and so that's probably mission related or campaign related. So, and probably this achievement will allow you to unlock Scully. They're not going to be locking like weapons or anything like that in the supply pass. The supply pass is specifically only for cosmetics. Cool. That means I don't really have to worry about anything too much when it comes to Killing Floor, because I'm able to, you know, get the weapons, play with the weapons, and then really give my thoughts about those weapons, right? And then obviously the characters are probably going to be free unless they decide to make a specific character paid for. But if they go that route, then what's the point of having the store? You know, like, what's the point of having the store in game when they're going to be doing like DLCs for like characters separately? You know what I mean? So there isn't really a point if they decide to do that, because if the store is primarily only for cosmetics, then that's cool, right? But if it's where they're gonna be like, okay, well, you could get it on Steam or you can get it on through the store with the currency, then, you know, okay, cool. But I don't know, that's just kind of odd to me, where I'm just like, that's cool, but I'm not gonna be, I'm not really into cosmetics. If I have the battle pass or the supply pass, well, yeah, I'm probably gonna be using the cosmetics. But like I said, I'm gonna be using DJ Scully the moment he is released, or I guess if we have to unlock him, that's probably gonna be the deal. You play the campaign, you unlock Scully, and then you call it a day. Maybe they might do a mid-season rearmament, maybe, or mid-season armament update, where they give us new guns, because they recently just gave us the rearmament update, so to say. But if they give us new guns in this update too, that would be fantastic, because then that really sets the tone of just the game itself. Obviously, performance, we can't really say much about performance. Obviously more optimization was going to happen, more bug fixes, and all of that noise will be applied, right? But I do want to think about more of, like, what is the plan for them, or kind of predict what's happening in terms of what they have in mind for this update, because obviously they just released the map, or not the map, they didn't release the trailer for the map, where, you know, it's just a walk along tour guide-esque, where you see the ambiance and, you know, see what's happening there. It's a black site for Horzine and all of that noise. But I do want to think about more of, okay, cool, we got the map already shown, but what is coming with this update, you know? I didn't get to see or watch the update where they had the, I think they had like the level designer or one of the designers on there. Wasn't able to really watch it because I had work to go to, so I do want to say though that it's very important that if we do end up getting new weapons, it would be pretty nice that if they decide to give each perk a new weapon. Not like, oh, all 6 perks get a new weapon. I mean, like, since the Commando, Engineer, and Sharpshooter got a new weapon, then Firebug, Medic, and I forgot the other one. And Ninja. I'm literally playing Ninja. So then at least, like, each perk feels more balanced in terms of, like, okay, yeah, we got new weapons for each perk. It's not a bad deal, you know? Like, every perk gets a new weapon every, like, 2 seasons, you know? Or every other season. Because if they're doing 3. But if they're not doing 3, and they decided to give us 4 new weapons, then I'm like, whoa, that's a curveball I didn't see. I don't want to say it's very exciting, but it's interesting, to say the least, that they are already releasing the next update in the winter, which is most likely going to be either the beginning of December. So I'm very curious on what is to come for this update. So it is most likely going to be released before Christmas, because obviously Christmas is when this is around the time where holidays are going to start coming up. They have to start being able to release something new for this update, or in terms of just in general. Because if they say, because like I said, like, they already teased the level where they're just trying to, like, overextend how long like it's going to be released. Kind of like what they did with Rearmament update, where it's like, oh yeah, guess what, like, this is going to be released on Halloween, but we're going to release it a week early. So expectation wise, like, if they're willing to release something so, like, a week early, then there's a high chance that it's already finished and they're just now in the testing phase, making sure everything is good, nothing breaks for the user, you know. It would make sense where they don't really say much, because, you know, it's already finished, so it seems. But all in all, though, I'm, you know, excited for it. I'm hoping this will really set the tone for the first year of KF3, and hopefully, I mean, I'm a bit optimistic about it. Like, I do hope that the game will get back on its feet compared to other games that's in the same shoes. And so, you know, I'm very, very hopeful that this winter update will definitely see a lot more changes for KF3. Honestly, that's what I'm really hopeful for. It's not like a crazy thing that I do want to say, but it's like, it's something that I do feel like should be addressed in terms of, like, okay, these baby crawlers, crawler juniors, whatever you want to call them, can you guys, like, back up? Okay, there we go. But yeah, I mean, that's primarily what I'm thinking what's going to happen. Obviously, they have to figure something out with the Commando, because if the Commando doesn't get the ability to be able to see stalkers, like the red outlines, or the red, yeah, basically the red outlines of them, where it's like their body shape and everything from 1 and 2, I do feel like that it would be a missed opportunity to really make the Commando feel like the classic Commando, because it was available in 1 and it was available in 2. So they'll I'm hoping if they do, then they'll add like some new 1 or 2 new skills for each perk. But that's probably asking a bit too much, knowing the state of the game at the moment. But I do feel like that would be a feature that would be very, very missed if they don't do it. But other than that, like, that's about it, you know.